I am happy to announce the 10th annual Butch Ward Scholarship Bass Fishing Tournament that is being held at the Fish and Games Club on Big Slack on the Upper Potomac River. The event is Sunday, October 26th, and blast off is at 7:30 a.m. It is $115 per boat. You can fish with a partner or by yourself, and the event is going to go until 3:30 p.m. Big Slack on the Upper Potomac River is a scenic impoundment in Western Maryland, and it's one of the few places in Maryland you can safely operate a fiberglass bass boat without any motor restrictions. But fair warning, Big Slack is no Bass Pro Shop aquarium or stocked bass pond. This is a tough fishery that's going to challenge the best anglers. But if you can catch them here, it'll make the Ohio River or New Jersey look like Lake Gunnersville. For more information, link in the episode description down below. See you there. You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your host, Thomas Ahrens. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.
Good evening, everybody. I'm sorry we missed Monday Night Live last night. I completely spaced that I'm part of the Maryland Black Bass Advisory Committee, and we have quarterly meetings, and that was last night, talking about plans for forward-facing sonar, catch rates in the old Potomac River, and also fish mortalities from fishing tournaments. So compiled all that information. I already gave it to my Patreon supporters. I'll be doing a live or a pre-recorded or a live stream later on this week about that, but I had to kick this guest, which I was terribly sorry to have to do that, but I have him here now, the man, the myth, the legend, to talk about Lake Anna and all things going on in his world. Without further ado, Matt, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing well, Thomas. Thanks for having me on, dude.
It's always a pleasure. First and foremost, the coverage you did with Hunter, if you're out there, a huge shout out to the Potomac and the James. Like, that was fantastic. I'm glad you were there to kind of support our friend.
Of course, yeah. The Potomac was definitely a little more involved. We built like a flotilla. I posted on Instagram and Facebook saying, hey, we're going to go follow Maddie around, and just texted a few friends. And I think we had 6 boats at one point with 2 or 3 people per boat kind of following him around. It was super fun, and he crushed it. I think he finished 5th in that one. And then obviously he just won the regional here on the James. So
How'd you guys get there so fast? Because were you guys at Lake Anna that day?
No, we were there Friday. Saturday, we went to the weigh-in Saturday on day 2. But it was pretty funny because it was like 4:00 and we were out on Lake Anna Friday. Hunter was like, oh, we should pull up MLF and watch the weigh-in, see where Maddie's at. And as I'm pulling it up, I'm like, watch, I'm going to open this thing and it's going to say Matt McCluskey up top. And sure enough, it did. It was pretty awesome. So yeah, we were stoked.
Guys, go check out Matt McCluskey. He's absolutely on a tear this year. Top 5 in the Toyota Series. Just won the BFL Super Duper Regional on the James 2-day event. Congratulations, big dog. I'm going to be getting you on the show here soon as well. How have you been? What have you been up to?
Just fishing, man. Fishing, guiding a little bit. Tournament slowed down a little this summer, so I haven't been fishing too many. Had like some Tuesday nighters and like the Tuesday nighter classic on Chesdin, and then some Johnboat stuff. But besides that, I haven't really fished any bigger tournaments in probably since like June, I would say. So definitely looking forward to this weekend's 2-day Elite 70 Alpha on the James. So should be good.
What you did with the Alpha Series, dude, I really think it's impressive. The way you finished where you did with AOI points. I mean, I know you don't like to, as an athlete, give yourself too much leniency, but do you ever look back and be like, God damn, this is crazy in 5 years that I'm where I'm at right now with AOI points in the Alpha Series, which is one of the vaunted series in our area.
No, it's probably the opposite. I look back and I'm like, wow, I've been doing this for 5 years. I should be finishing better, but I don't know. I love to fish and I love to compete. So maybe I'm just a little slower to get to where I need to be, but I'm starting to figure things out a little bit better. I feel like every year I've improved. So I'm still happy with it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm happy with how I finished, but I definitely would hope next year that I can. I mean, not probably not winning AOY. I might be able to be in the running, but I'd love to win an event. That's the thing. To me, it's like should be able to put something together, like to win one.
It'll come. I mean, you also had that absolutely insane day last year on the Winter Series on the lake that we're talking about. And for people that don't know, like, how did all this get started with you and Lake Anna and the guide service? Just a quick little recap.
Yeah, sure. So I've been friends with Tyler, who runs High Pole Guide Service, since he was like, I think he was still in high school when I met him. And I met him at the Richmond Fishing Expo 7 years ago, probably, maybe eight. I don't even remember how long ago it was, but um, he watched my channel. He just came up to me one day and was like, "Yo, man, I really like your videos. Like, I'm a fan. I appreciate it." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. Give me your number." He told me he fished the res a bunch. I was like, "I'll get you out and like we'll fish sometime." So we fished a handful of times, and he went off to school, graduated from college, and then started running High Pole Guide Service. So I think he did that for like a year or two, and then had a job opportunity that he just couldn't pass up. And he wanted to keep the guide business going. So he asked if I would fill in or like would be interested in picking up some trips. So guiding has always been something that I had a little bit of interest in, but I wasn't sure if I'd really like it. Um, I'm pretty hard on myself when I don't catch them. So like if I can't put someone else on fish, I feel like I'd be even more upset than they would be if they didn't catch any. So I very carefully got into, I was like, yeah, we'll try it out. Like I'll pick a couple up and see how it goes. But it's been awesome, man. So it's been a little over a year now that I've been guiding on Lake Anna, and, a trip every week, every 2 weeks ish, sometimes more than that. But it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed taking people out. Haven't had any trips where anyone's gotten skunked yet, which is cool. I've had some tough ones, obviously, but uh, even on those tough ones, like the people that I've taken out are super nice. Like they're just happy to be out there, happy to learn. And I really enjoy teaching too. That's the other thing that I've come to realize, like having someone in the boat that wants to learn and wants to like ask me questions. And I feel pretty cool when I'm like, oh, I know the answers to all these. Like I fish so much and spend so much time on the water. It just feels pretty natural. So,
And a side note to that, I believe I saw, or Jared Mounts of Jake's Bait and Tackle told me you were a guest speaker, coach, whatever, for the local high school guys.
Yeah. So they had a tournament. I guess they're state qualifiers down at Anna a couple weeks ago. And he just asked if I would come by and talk to him a little bit. So I had a guide trip that day and I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like I'll come by and talk to him. And it was probably 10 teams, maybe like 20 kids or something like that. But that was cool. Yeah, it was very cool. And just tried to give him some tips about the lake, tried to give him some tournament tips in general. And yeah, it went well. Had a good time.
And guys, get all your questions in, and don't worry, I'll make sure I get them answered. Best two questions are going to win a gift card to Jake's Bait and Tackle. I'll select the winners at the end of the show. Lake Anna is a heck of a beast. Really, just what are you seeing? We'll go big picture and start narrowing down. It's October, but it feels like it's still August. It's batshit crazy, the weather we're getting, on top of every other condition on Lake Anna. And I see the comment section. We're going to talk about the grass in a minute. Don't worry. But how is the lake dealing with this weird ass Indian summer?
I think it's going pretty well. Like as far as big ones go, like big 5+, 6+, it's a little tough, but going out and catching them is not very hard. It has been fun. Very fun.
What is it like compared to last year this time? Same, better, worse?
I think it's better than it was last year. Or, I mean, yeah, I'll say I think it's better than last year. I was still kind of getting my footing on the lake, I think, last year. So now with a bit more experience, it could be that coming into play as well. But there is so much grass. And if you move around quickly, like you will find fish. it's not there's so much good grass everywhere still too. And if you keep bouncing around, like you're gonna stumble into them, or you'll find them feeding, or like you'll get on a stretch and just find them loaded up. That grass is so cool.
Has it changed the lake?
What's that?
Has the grass changed the lake? Just like not only just the quantity of fish, just how well it fishes, but just how the fish orientate. I remember, I don't know, has it been like 6 years since you and I fished together? Holy shit, maybe it
That
has.
was like 3 years ago. 2 years.
Yeah, goddamn.
It
But there
no, it
wasn't
was-
as much grass back then, was there?
Okay, we didn't fish it last year because they changed the rules. It was the year before, so
Year before.
it wasn't even 2 years ago. It was a year and a half, or a year and
Damn.
10 months. But yeah, there was grass when we fished, but it was not nearly as much. Like you had to go out and really find it, and it was in
Mhm.
certain specific areas. And now you could basically get in any water under 6 feet, and like it should be there. Like if you don't see it, you just move a quarter mile down the bank and like, okay, there it is. There is so much. And like, we'll say from the splits down, I haven't fished much above the splits because there's just so much going on. Like I launch at sturgeon all the time. So there's so many options, both down lake and up lake from there, that I don't have to go very far.
What kind of water temperatures are you seeing right now?
72 to 74 last week when I was out is what I saw for the majority. Yeah.
With it literally becoming a grass lake in the last 2 years, which sounds like what it's becoming, what do you think is going to happen here as it starts to die off? Are you think it's going to be treated more like a Gunnersville type of vibe on how that place sets up as the grass dies back and how the fish will set up?
So with how thick the grass is and how much there is this year, and I've actually seen this on Gaston before. There was one year where the hydrilla grew to the surface. It was just like Anna. I mean, like you could be in 8 feet, 10 feet of water and find an edge. The hydrilla was growing straight to the bottom. And that year they didn't spray for it for whatever reason. And I remember like we'd go down there every other weekend, and through January and February, like that grass was still there. Like it was still lining the banks. It died off, but it created like mats almost. And like, yeah, it was dead grass, but it still kept so many fish coming back. Like we were catching shad with a cast net off of our dock and catching striper off the dock. And we were in the very back of a creek. And I think it just kept the fish around more. It was very cool. So I'm thinking that that's kind of how the bite on Lake Anna will be too. Like these fish might stay in the backs of creeks a little longer, or just stay shallower in general, as long as that grass doesn't completely die off, like, disappears. But yeah.
With the temperatures being so hot as it is, and it feels like this is becoming more of an occurrence every year with us, is our falls are just so lengthened out. And I had a couple of smallmouth guides on for the Susky Shenandoah, and they talk about how you don't get a true fall bite in certain instances until like November, December. And it's wild because the calendar says it should be winter, but it's like, it's not really. Are you seeing the fish still in like a summertime pattern? Are they in a transition period? What's their vibe right now?
So definitely in a transition. In my mind right now, like I shouldn't be able to go all the way into the back of a creek and find fish yet that have pushed back. I mean, like a big, like Contrary Creek, like going all the way back under the bridge, like all the way to the back. Like I don't know, 74, 75 degrees. I'm like, all right, they're still working their way back there. Like it's probably not going to be too crazy. But one day I got a wild hair. I was like, I'm going to go back there and just look around. Like, I just want to go see if there's like a ton of grass or what's going on. And there was a ton of fish back there, dude, and a ton of grass. But I think that's why they're back there. And I could be wrong on this because, again, like I'm not the most experienced out on that lake. I've spent a lot of time out there the last year, but prior to that, like I'd never been to the very, very back of Contrary Creek in October. early October at that, like we'll say
Mhm.
through September, October. So I don't know. I don't think 75 degrees, I should be running to the very, very backs of creeks and looking around for fish. And like, sure, I think you'd be able to find some, but for the amount that I saw and found, it is wild. Like all the giant schools I was finding in the summer out on the main lake, that's what I was seeing in the back of some of these creeks. I was like, oh, this is where they went. Like, it's nuts.
That
And
is
that
so
it
cool.
just seems early to me, being 75 degrees. It's really like, that's not even like when I start thinking of fall fishing, like your typical fall fishing, it's like when the water gets to 60 and it's getting cold.
Mhm.
Like you're looking for that cold snap to like push them back and start feeding on shad that are running up the creeks, but they're back there already.
And that's the beauty of grass lakes, everyone, is as long as it's green, it's pretty logical what they're going to do. I think you're always going to have a portion they're going to chase the blueback and the shad, but there's just always going to be such a population that's going to be in the green stuff compared to a lake where if it's barren, which Lake Anna might be in 2 years when they spray the shit out of it, it's a completely different bite.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I really, well, from the way that it sounds, sure, they might be able to spray a little bit, but I remember after they sprayed the first time, it was something like, 19 acres up in Plentiful Creek. They're like, that's like, we overextended our budget on that one. And it was 19 acres that they sprayed of the 13,000 acres that has grass. So I don't know. I don't know how much that's the whatever weed killer or whatever it may be that they spray spreads. And like if they spray a 19-acre area, how much does it actually affect on the lake?
Yeah.
Is it like, does it need to be right there? Like, I don't know how that works, but.
And that, guys, I'm going to get a biologist on to talk about that, because that and the grass carp are interesting, because believe it or not, as long as they spray, it will never kill it all off out of the lake. The grass carp is an issue because Odenkirk told us a year ago or 2 years ago, the last time they did a major grass carp stocking was in the late 90s when there was hydrilla, and they put too many in. And you can tell that place didn't have water willow or vegetation until 3 or 4 years ago when all the grass carp died off. So grass carp will 100% nuke all the water willow and the grass. So sadly, hopefully that's all they do is just spray, but we'll see. Maybe we can get a petition signed or something. I know that's what's on the thought of everybody's mind here. And I guess we got to get to all of your guys' questions here. I got to get all caught up on these before everything gets out of the way. Justin Dyson, what are your thoughts on all the super tall hydrilla on all the points on the lower end? I think we kind of just nailed that one.
They're awesome. They're so much fun. And you can fish them really quick. You can like fish 10 points until you run into the fish. And like the other day, Friday, when I was out with Hunter, we doubled up like 3 or 4 times, caught a ton that were just like randomly schooling. Like we were working our way around a point or like fishing grass and docks. And then off to the side, they would start blowing up on stuff. And we're both like bombing minnows or whatever we could out to them. And yeah, it's super, super fun. If you went out there and solely just fished points, you would have a great day, in my opinion. And that's what I've been doing a ton with a lot of the guide trips. Like we're just jumping main lake points and secondary points around that tall grass.
And Justin, I'm going to say, you just want a gift card to Jake's Bait and Tackle. You can message me on Instagram, Facebook, email me, whatever, and I'll get it to you tomorrow at some point. But do you think that since the grass is so much more prevalent, that the lake fishes much bigger than usual?
I mean, it definitely adds a ton of cover for them. So yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a fair question. And I would say, yeah, it definitely does. Because there is so much grass in there. It's kind of like how I guess you look at the Potomac where it's almost overwhelming. You're like, well, okay, cool. I can find the grass, no problem. But like, where are the fish within the grass? Or like, what stretch are they really loaded up on? Yeah. So definitely, I think makes it fish bigger for sure.
A lake with good SAV has more acreage of livable habitat than a lake without it. And so, yeah, it's 100%. And it will absorb more boats too. And I think Oh, there it is. Fish everything. Here we go. This is leading to my next thing. We got Victor here. So what you're saying is we're going to catch a 30-pound glide bait bag in November instead of my mini bags. Yeah, I think that'll be cool to see the mega bags this winter with all the grass and the forage and the bluegill and all that other stuff that's now available in the lake.
I agree. And yeah, Victor, that sounds like a lot of fun. Let's go.
Getting into this guy's little question here. Let's see. This is making, or I didn't even do the right one. I think I did the right one. No, I didn't. Sorry. Whoops, wrong one. Sorry. I can't read. Tips for beginners on Lake Anna. I already asked at Green Top this past weekend in person, asking for the good of the group. So let's get into it. Yep. Tips and tricks for Lake Anna this time of year.
You could probably get away with having 3 or 4 rods and baits on. Like have a walking bait, have a minnow that you not are necessarily fishing on forward facing, just like in case you see them come up schooling, a jig and a drop shot. That has been what I've been catching the majority of my fish on. Move around fast. Don't stick in any one area unless you're catching them good. Like as you're fishing through this grass, you can fish through it quick. And then once you get bit, slow down, kind of pick that area apart. And then there's been times actually in the last like 2 or 3 weeks where I've had clients out and doing exactly that. Like we're fishing points, we'll hit like 3 or 4 of them with like maybe 1 or 2 fish. And then you get on one area that's like, okay, they caught one, and then their buddy catches one, and then they go for like 8 or 9 fish in one little area, like one little 30-foot hole in the grass. And then if you just keep bouncing around and keep finding like similar spots, like look at your mapping, where you're catching them and where there's grass, if you can kind of line everything up, you'll catch more for sure.
Is the speed worm playing at all?
I haven't thrown it, but I feel like it absolutely would. Yeah.
And I guess I'll ask the quiet question out loud that everyone's thinking. How much of the James River, Potomac River setup gear-wise would actually play on this type of Lake Anna, this grassy Lake Anna?
I think a good amount. I do. Yeah. I tried punching the other day. I didn't do it enough, but like there's certain areas that, you know, some of the grass has either been like blown through by someone's prop, or a ton of boat traffic has kind of ripped some of that grass up, and the wind has blown it into these mats on the edge of the, not on the edge of the channel, but deep enough to where there's like a canopy and it's deep enough, like around the islands, just down from Sturgeon. And the other day when I was out messing around, I saw them and I was like, all right, I'm going to spend like 15 minutes just going and punching through all those mats. I didn't get bit, but it felt right. Like I feel like if I'd been there at the right time or tried it more somewhere else, like something like that would absolutely work. And it's probably something there that no one else out there would think to do or would be trying. Could be wrong, but yeah.
Dude, I'm excited. Like this is, and then guys, listen to me right now. If you want a trip to learn grass fishing on Lake Anna, you have to book now with SB here, because you know the homeowners are going to try to nuke every single blade of grass. They're going to dump enough pesticide to kill a dog in that bitch come next year. So if you want to experience this Lake Anna at its best, get out there now before they start doing it. Let's see. We got Justin here again. Are you seeing that the clarity is more dingy now that the grass has started to die off? And are you seeing them still use the dead grass, or does it really need to be green?
So it definitely does not need to be green. They'll still live in it. It's still cover. It's still a decent area to fish. Would I prefer fishing green grass? Yeah, it's a little bit easier to like work your bait through it and to rip it off of that living stuff for whatever reason. I guess it's like, I don't know, a little more taut grass, so it's just easier to rip through than the dead stuff. But yeah, they're still definitely in the brown grass. And to answer the first part of that question, yes, I have noticed that the lake has been dingier. It's it's kind of strange. With all that grass, you'd think that it would still be cleaner, even if it is dying off. But
plus the spraying.
Yeah. Plus what? Oh, it's
plus the spraying.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is too, the lake, down lake at least, is definitely turning over. Like you can, it is noticeable in some spots where it almost looks like a film. No, it's like foam on the surface of the water, like long stretches of foam, and it is kind of brown, nasty looking. And then if you really look into the water itself, like you can see the part, like dirt particles, basically, like the whole lake is turning over.
And that happens a lot on grassy lakes. And that color, I know Sleepy Creek, which is on my way down towards you guys. It's a pain in the ass to get there, but it is so much like Florida where there's so much grass and crap in there. And the water has almost a tea color to it, almost like when you go down to Florida, it has that weird, tannic. I don't know, stain. Yeah, tannic. Yeah. And I wonder if that's what's going to happen if you didn't spray and kill off all the grass, if Lake Anna would start looking like that in certain areas, that tannic kind of stain to it or not, which would be interesting.
I don't know. I don't think so. I could be wrong, but yeah, I don't know what causes that tea color. Is it the grass, or is it something within?
Do we have some biologists in the chat? Let me know.
Anybody know what causes tannins in the water? I didn't think it was from grass, but no idea.
And then we got another great question right here. Bite window wise, morning, evening, midday. I hear that grass lakes have a better day, like middle of the day bite. Like, what are we dealing with right now?
So and maybe this just fits my style more, but from like 11 on has been pretty fun. Yeah. Like I fished, I mean, there's still a morning bite, and maybe I'm not approaching it perfectly or like exactly the right way, but for whatever reason, once like the sun just starts peeking over the trees a bit more and like really getting light on the lake and on that grass and kind of setting them up a little bit better, catch them pretty good generally. In the morning, like if I've had a guide trip, I'm trying to move around a bunch and just try to get people on some topwater, throw in like a whopper plopper or something like that, which has been working for sure. But those bites can't really count on them 100%. It's like, I know you'll catch one if you throw it, but it may not be a lot until later. And that, I mean, as the day goes on, like the bite has always gotten better over the last month.
What, and we got Justin, is it Justin again? Yeah, we got Justin again. It says like, what are we looking at weight wise to win a tournament right now?
Actually, I think last weekend there was like a double tournament or something like that. I want to say it was 22 pounds that won that one, and I think it was 17 for second. But 22 pounds is definitely pretty good for right now. I feel like all the other tournament weights that I've seen have been in that 17 to 19 pound range, like over the last few weeks. 22 is definitely, like, they definitely got on them.
And I've been saying it at least here for a year or two, where it's like the winter is always like epic and crazy, and then there's this massive drop off in weights. And so to hear that, like, it's like now it's kind of creeping back up there this time of year. Holy God, this winter might just be,
I can't wait,
nuts.
I'm so excited. It's gonna be fun for sure.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, Mr. High Pole did a thing last year. Again, it wasn't in a tournament, but I believe it was 41 pounds was his best five. It was close to that, something like that.
It was like 38. Yeah.
38 pounds. It's a mega bag. And that came out of Lake Anna. And so with those fish having another year to get bigger, having the forage and the cover, that's got to only be going up, I'm thinking, this fall or this winter.
So too. Like, I think this winter we're going to see a couple 10s, and I think we're going to see some 35 plus pound bags in tournaments, and someone's going to wreck a 40 pound bag just fun fishing at some point. I hope it's me. Someone's going to do it.
It would be interesting to see if the grass continues to play, as how long the grass will continue to be a major factor going into the winter. And I guess if it's a mild winter, maybe the grass stays green the whole time, which would be good. We got Victor here that says the tea tannic is the soil usually, I believe. There you guys go.
Okay,
There we
that's
go. We got our
what
botanist right there.
that's what I was thinking. Like I thought it had to do with something of the bottom contents of the lake.
Timmy, can you show me how to fish Lake Anna, please?
You know too well. He's
Yeah, dude.
the real G on Anna.
Yeah, he's the lake pirate there.
He's the lake pirate.
John Huggins, I think.
Hudgens.
Hudgens.
Yeah.
When do I get my personalized PB trip on Anna?
You just let me know when you want to go out. I've been trying to get you out there for years now. You just say the word any day.
Question on the old Instagram. What is your glide bait setup and when does that come into effect?
I threw the glide out there almost all summer. And I've been throwing the 7-inch fish everything taxi shed. Yep.
Victor, you
Exactly.
yelled at me last time. I have no idea what size this one is, so I'm sorry.
That's the 10 in your left hand and the 7. Actually,
This is the baby.
Okay, that's a 6.
Yeah.
And then but that one, or the one up top, I believe is a 9.
Victor, what size is it? Let me know. But anyway, so it's the in-between size of these two.
Yeah, that's 7-inch. And I figured out how to catch them. Like, basically just find big schools of fish and burn it over their heads. It was some of the coolest glide bait fishing. I guess technically I could have thrown anything at them that was moving, and I think they would have eaten, just for how aggressive they were, how many were in that school. Like, they just got so fired up. It's like how you would imagine like crankbait fishing. Like, find fish on a ledge and just burn it through them. Like, you'll get them fired up and they'll eat. That's exactly how I fished the glide bait this summer. Yeah, the 7-inch TS7, and I've been throwing it on a 7.9 medium heavy Shimano, their new swim bait rod. It's sick.
Braid or fluorocarbon mono? What are you doing?
20-pound fluoro. The rod's an outlier, by the way. Yeah, that's what it's called. 20-pound Seaguar Invis Tranks 300. Yeah, gets the job done.
There you guys go. We got right here. We got Brian Henry. Is mid lake the better option as opposed to up lake at this time of year? And Brian, I believe when you mean up lake, you mean above the splits, correct? I think that's what he means.
I'm gonna assume that's what he means, and I haven't even gotten very far past the splits in the last month or 2 months because there's so much to fish down from there. And launching in sturgeon, it's like, I don't even need to run the boat that far. But I think the whole lake is just fishing really, really good. I have buddies that have fished up there and have done extremely well. So I don't know if it's necessarily better. Maybe it's from a lack of knowledge on my end, but I've been having a lot of fun down lake.
And I want to stress this again because I know everyone has this what the reputation of Lake Anna is, and it's sandwiched between James River in the south, Potomac in the north, which is shallow water, grass, stumpy fishermen, and they get the heebie-jeebies because we're in River Rat Central when it comes to lake fishing. And this is not the same lake. It's something where if you're comfortable fishing a grass bed in Pohick, you can easily translate a lot of those skill sets here. Just find grass and start fishing. And I think that's what's so exciting right now with what the lake is.
Yeah, they're shallow. Like, they've been shallow too. The grass has, like, and maybe this is, I don't know, something that I just wasn't aware of, but it is not very difficult to catch them under 5 feet of water. Like, you don't even need live scope out there right now. If you just get yourself around some grass, cover water, you'll have a fun day for sure. Like, the majority of my trips, especially if I have someone out who is not super experienced, I'm like, okay, here's a whopper plopper, here's a mini chatterbait, here's a small swim bait, here's a drop shot. Like, we're gonna go fish under 6 feet. We're gonna move around a lot. Like, it's gonna be a lot of up and down until we find them, and then when we find them, we'll kind of be able to chill and like we can fish this area for a bit. But just bear with me for like, an hour or two until we start getting bit, and then you should be able to catch a bunch. So
Guys, you're hearing it here from the master himself. Get all your questions in here. So before too long, Vic says you'll learn eventually. Thomas, that is a 9-inch dude. This is why I can't do ad reads
because it's too big. I was like that. I don't think that's
yeah. I need to get a dummy one with all the shit written on one side so I can just read it off because I sound like Joe Biden right now. So, but yeah, go guys, check out Fish Everything. In the smallmouth country I'm at, this little one right here is absolutely the absolute shit. But I do dabble in the bigger ones when I get into to largemouth territory. Lake Chesdin, I've always wanted to have somebody on the show to kind of just do a high level view of that. I know this is a Lake Anna show, but we're going to talk about this a little bit too. That place is interesting. I didn't know they had the evening tournaments there. Watching your live streams, which have been a blast, by the way.
They were fun.
Is that closest to your home? What is your home body of water?
I've never felt like I've had one. Besides like the res, I guess, is like the closest thing to a home body of water that I would say that I have. But Chesdin is about 45 minutes south of me. Anna's like an hour and a half north. The absolute closest thing for me would be the James, but that's only getting to Osborne Park or Osborne Landing, which is probably like 35 minutes. But yeah, Chesdin is a very cool little lake.
What is it? Is it comparable? What lake is it comparable to give people an idea of how it fishes? Gaston, Kerr, Smith, Anna? Its own thing.
It is kind of its own thing. So there's no there is some hydrilla there, and it changes year to year. Further up lake though, like I've never seen any down lake. There's a ton of water willow, and good water willow, like that grows pretty far off the bank or like out on like where you have a channel swing bank and like a little bit of shallow water, and those fish live in that grass year round. Like it definitely plays every month of the year. It's a little dirtier, considerably dirtier than Lake Anna. Definitely has a lot of offshore stuff if you like fishing that. Quite a few docks. And then the up lake section, like the river, is definitely sought after by quite a few people too. I don't mess around up there too much personally, but yeah, you can definitely get some big ones. This place also has some very, very big fish. 8s, 9s, 10s. I think the biggest that I've personally heard of was like an 11 and a half.
Shit.
But I'm sure that there's been bigger caught out there too.
That's such a cool little place.
It is neat. It is a very neat lake. You can get on a really good bite there too.
It's like almost the right, like I wish it was like another 1,000 acres bigger, and then it'd be like the perfect size for mid-range tournaments where you could definitely stock it with F1s and see a quick impact because it's not ginormous. But yeah, I don't know. I need to get down to that way. Here's a fun question that I will not butcher at all from Alec63 on Instagram here. Let's see where to go. What was the biggest learning curve when you got your bass boat and started to fish tournaments that way?
Coming from a Johnboat, I think that getting the bass boat and having accessibility to any body of water, as far as like being able to navigate that entire body of water, narrowing down what areas you needed to fish in, or just saying like, if I'd never been to a body of water, I have a couple days of practice, if I was there for a tournament or whatever, like I'm going to pick this section, or I guess if I'm early on in practice, like I can check the whole lake if it's not massive, pick a general area that I like most, and like that's where I'm going to focus. Because when you get a full-size bass boat coming from a John boat, you can literally travel the entire lake 3 times in a day if you wanted, but you're going to waste so much time driving around and not really figuring anything out. Whereas with a John boat, you just can't do that. You're never going to be able to run all of Bugs Island in a 14-foot John boat with a 20 horsepower. Like you're going to put in one area and be like, okay, I'm going to go 5 miles this way, and that's the extent of what I can fish. So I will say that being in the John boat, it kind of keeps you from going too far or like running around too much, but it also makes you kind of lock in and be like, okay, I need to find the spots on the spots here that I really want to look at, and I'm going to need to figure it out. And I think once I kind of learned that I don't need to run the entire lake everywhere I go, it helped me a lot. Like I don't need to have 5 spots in every section of the lake because it's not feasible. Like I think unless you get, well, maybe I wasn't very good at the time or still not very good, but like that, it just doesn't make sense to do that. Like you need to narrow down an area where the fish are biting and focus in that general area.
I 100% agree. Coming from high school and college doing the bass boat and fueled with Red Bull and Adderall and trying to get spots all over the lake.
Yeah.
Going to the kayak world and being like, you have to effing pick the juice because you're there. And it has taught me so many good lessons that eventually once I'm employed again and I get back into the bass boat and touring around, how many fish you can pick apart in an area when you just do circles. And that blew me away because I felt like there's no way you can catch good fish in a kayak when you have to stay in an area. But then you realize like, no, you can. You don't have to run the whole damn lake, which is interesting to understand both ways of fishing and then being able to execute.
The other side of that too is like with getting the bass boat, a lot of these lakes that I've been fishing now over the last 3 years were extremely new to me. Like I was never fishing any tournaments out of my John boat at Smith Mountain Lake or Bugs Island or High Rock or even Lake Anna for that matter. So over this amount of time, like I've gained experiences at all of these lakes now, like at least a little bit. So it helps you narrow things down. But I think at the beginning, like that first year of having the Ranger and fishing all these places with really no time under my belt, it was like trying to learn the lake and trying to learn too much of it at once. Like where I could have focused more in like sections or areas that I'd caught them before instead of being like, okay, I need to go graph every one of these creeks and main lake points and try to find as many brush piles and rock piles and like look for bait balls and see what I can find like every time I went. But
how many days? I'm trying to think. I think the first year you had the boat was when, because that's the year Phil died almost. Okay. Okay. Sorry. That's how I timeline it, guys, is by the intro. So is it like 2.5 years now? 3 years? 4?
Yeah.
You've had the boat?
3 years.
How many hours on the water ramped up from just John boat to then having the John boat and or bass boat? What are your average hours per year on the water?
I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. But I would say it's probably about the same. Like having the Ranger versus having a John boat doesn't make a difference. Like I probably fished the same amount. Maybe more. Maybe. Like I don't know. I don't keep track of those things. I probably should. It'd be kind of cool if I did. But yeah, I can tell you that, okay, so in the last 3 years when I got the Ranger, it had like 200 hours on it and it has 800 hours on it now. So 200 a year. Yeah. 200 hours a year that I've put on it.
Dude, that's wild. And you having to learn these lakes that you've never fished before in a hell of a hurry to compete with the sticks on like the Alpha series. Whew.
It's been fun though. It's like my favorite thing in the world. Like going somewhere,
Alpha's cool.
Trying to figure it out. The Alphas, dude, they're so much fun. They've been a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. Stoked for the one this weekend.
And that's a 2-day or a 1-dayer?
So it's 2-day if you finish in the top half of the field, day 1. So I guess they take 35 boats to day 2.
Okay. And are you allowed to live stream it or promote it, or like, are you going to have anything on your channel people go follow?
I'll definitely film it and post a video from it. I'm not going to live stream it though. It's just, I don't want to even think about messing with it. I just want to go out and focus and catch them. Try to catch them rather.
Nah, yeah, dude, you're going to do good. And then guys, I see your comment section. We're going to get back to the questions here before we end the night. Let's get back to, oh my God, there's so Many. Who else is broke after the outdoor expo at Green Top this past weekend? I gotta go next year.
It was fun. I had a good time. I actually didn't buy anything. I was there hanging out with Shimano for like 6 hours and just kind of walked around and talked to people about rods and reels, and then I left. I was like, it is very busy in here. I'm out of here. But yeah, we had to go to the weigh-in, Maddie's weigh-in. Go watch him win a boat.
That was so cool. I can't believe
it was
Maddie,
nice.
you're not supposed to win that one. None of us could be there the whole day to watch you.
That would have been I mean, I guess we could have. Well, I'm not going to say anything.
We got
secrets.
We got Scott here. Does Anna have gizzard shad or mainly threadfin shad or blueback herring? So
Both.
well, yeah.
Both. Yeah.
Threadfin, allegedly there's not, but I've heard rumors that there are. So coin
There
flip
probably
whether they're in there or not.
I think that there are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually like 95% sure. I caught one the other day. I was like, this looks like a threadfin to me, but who knows? But yeah, gizzards and blueback.
There's a ton
Maybe
of
really
blueback
small
here.
right now, like
Oh, really?
this big, 2.5, 3 inches, like mega schools of them. Yeah.
What's the what's the bluegill population like right now? Is it improving compared to last year with all the grass?
Well, I don't fish for bluegill much, but I can say that every time I get super shallow around a dock or when I'm launching the boat, there's hundreds of them around and some really big ones too. So I imagine that it is just getting better, especially with how good the grass is, giving them a little bit more cover and places to hide and things to feed on. I'm sure it's pretty good.
And the reason I say that, because again, forage species wise, if the grass stays and the bluegill keep pumping off, that's got to just completely shift the bass's behavior again of busting shad versus just staying shallow year round if there's bluegill that they can feed on.
Yeah, for sure. Something I've been
that-
wanting to do really bad lately is throw a bluegill glide around some of these docks and super shallow. I'm like, I know that there's fish that are just living super shallow on these docks or even deeper off the docks and like rolling up shallow and picking off a few bluegill and calling it a day. There has to be.
I wonder if Victor has something like that.
That's the one I'm talking about. It's for sure. Fish everything. Bluegill glide. Go check it out. It's good. I just don't throw a bluegill glide much.
I got some Matt Allen old school kind of bluegill stuff, but they're not glide bait wise. But that was like for like Sleater's Lake,
Right.
Burke Lake, places like that are very bluegilly bite wise. Let's see, Justin again. What day is the Veterans Day tournament, or has it not been announced? Black Friday, I believe it is. I could be wrong. Wait, no, Veterans Day.
That would make sense. Did they keep it the same rules as last year?
So, without pissing, I don't care if I piss people off. Never mind. So basically, they shift the rules that you have to have a veteran in the boat, no matter what. So that is the new rule, and I think they capped it. I do not know if it's 100 boats, 200 boats, whatever. I believe there was some issues with the last year that I fished it with Matt. It was like the second best turnout they've ever had in the history of the lake. It was some crazy number.
It was like 170 boats.
It was insane.
Because we were like 150 or something. It was nuts.
And the lake absorbed it really well. We didn't see a lot of people that day, honestly.
I agree.
It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, it really did.
Like,
it was a fun tournament. Oh,
you could have a BFL there.
Oh, you could absolutely have a BFL there.
Like,
no doubt. Yeah.
Why is the Shenandoah division like not like the Virginia division doesn't go to Lake Anna? It's just, again, I know that everyone's gonna say like the marina sucks. It doesn't have, marble and confetti and people and thongs like giving us handouts, but it's just, you got Gaston.
It's better than High Rock.
Well, that's fighting words. I know there's some people that love
and they're like, it's a non-trailered weigh-in. You got to go park your boat on the rocks because there's no docks here. And I'm like, I don't even have poles. And that sucked. That every time I've been there, that ramp sucks so much. I can't believe that like they would go there over Anna. But I don't know.
All right, we got a couple more here. Matt, you show me a threadfin shad at Anna, and I'll give you 10 baits.
Okay.
I can Photoshop shit out of that. That's easy. It's free baits.
I was on a guide trip last week, and the one that I pulled out of the lake, pulled him out, and I'm like, oh man, this looks like a threadfin shad to me. Should have taken a picture of it.
Might have been a baby blueback too, potentially. Guys, go check out Google Odenkirk. We had Odenkirk on. Odenkirk, by the way, guys, runs Lake Anna, so that's one of the lakes in his district. So anything, if you ever run into Odenkirk, talk to him because he's the one that does the F1 stocking there. He knows everything about that lake. He even scuba dives that lake every year to check on the SAV. So the dude is badass as hell. So go check him out. I think we got all the questions there. We got one more. Where is that thing? Let's see. Get with Matt. I've known him for the better part of 20 years. He's going to help you catch fish and have a good time. And I think that's a great little segue to how can people book a guide trip with you?
So it's going to be linked in this episode's description by Thomas. Huge thank you, by the way. Or you can head over to LakeAnnaBassFishing.com. I always forget. It confuses me, but yeah. So High Pole Guide Service, you could search that on Google as well. Pretty open the rest of the month, mainly during the week. I do have a few tournament weekends coming up. So October, slightly busy, but all of November, December, January, which also if you want to go catch a really big fish, that's probably the best time to do it. I'm very open all 3 of those months. So if you want to come out, if you want to learn a little bit, you want to just go hang out and try to catch a couple fish, it'll be a good time. I can promise you that.
And then, because I know guys are lazy, I just put it in the chat as well. So you guys don't even have to go scrolling through there. And then as always, guys, everything is linked in the episode description. This will be taken down over the night to make sure that YouTube gods did not strike it down because they're retarded with what things are said. And it'll be re-uploaded tomorrow morning early, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube as well. Matt, anything closing thoughts wise before we get out of here?
Nope. Thank you all for coming in, watching this podcast. Thank you, Thomas, for having me. My computer's at 2%, and I want to thank you all one more time. Love you.
All right. We're out of here, guys. Later. You're listening to Fishing the DMV with your host, Thomas Ahrens. Fishing the DMV is brought to you by Jake's Bait and Tackle, located in Winchester, Virginia.
If that doesn't get you jacked up, I don't know what will.